Boom guys, welcome to this video. Listen, today I am going to show you how you can get your first wholesale deal within the first 14 days, 1,000 or more transactions after doing this business. And this business right here, please don't complicate it. I don't care what the other gurus told you. Do not complicate this business. This is a business that just have 3 steps to it. Real estate wholesaling in a nutshell, and I'm gonna break down for you. I'm gonna assume that you don't know nothing, absolutely nothing about real estate in general, and you don't know nothing about wholesaling. And maybe somebody, right, that you know sent you my YouTube channel and told you, hey, check him out. It seems like he's doing deals, and I know you're interested in real estate wholesaling. Well, this guy keeps talking about it, so check it out. So I'm gonna assume you have absolute zero background in real estate wholesaling. So what is real estate wholesaling, guys? Real estate wholesaling in a nutshell is going out into the marketplace and finding properties at a steep discount, right? And you put those properties under contract, and once you have them under contract, you take that contract and then you sell your rights to that contract to an end buyer. Just the contract. So you're not the person closing on the property. That means you don't need money. That means you don't need credit, right? That means you don't need any resources other than, your sweat equity, which is going out and finding these sellers that we're going to go over what kind of sellers you're looking for. But essentially, you're just selling a piece of paper. You're just selling the contract, your rights to the contracts. So it's only 3 steps. The number 1 step is obviously going out and finding these properties. That is called doing the marketing, right? And then once you find these sellers that says, hey, I have this issue, that issue, and they want to sell for whatever reason. Typically we call these motivated sellers, right? They're going through some sort of problem. That's the marketing, right? So you reach out to them, whether that be through cold calling them, right? We do a lot of that, whether that be through sending text messages, whether that be through bandit signs. That's when you put out, I'm sure you've seen the signs that says we buy houses cash on the side of the road, right? Whether you put, it doesn't, whether you choose PPC, right? Pay per click. That's when you do like Google ads or Facebook ads, whatever. But the marketing, so you get the person saying, hey, I am interested in selling my property and I will sell it at a discount for speed and convenience. Why speed and convenience? Because one is cash, right? It's fast, right? Typically you put them under contract as is. They don't even have to flush the toilet. They don't have to fix anything. Unlike when they're dealing with a real estate agent where, the real estate agent want the property to look pretty before they can put it on the multi-listing services that we call the MLS. You, the investor, you buy it as is. Now remember, you're not the one buying it, right? It's your end buyer, right? Whether that be a buyer that will buy it to keep it as a buy and hold, right? Or a buyer that will take it and put some renovations into it and then sell it back on the market for a profit, and we call that a fix and flipper, right? That's the person that brings the money. It's not you. But the speed and convenience that you're offering them is, number 1 is cash, right? Number 2, there is no contingencies. You buy it as is. They don't even have to flush the toilet. They don't have to fix anything. You work within their timeline, and in exchange for that, guess what? You cover all the closing costs. They don't have to come out of pocket for anything. So any offer you make them, guess what? It is a net offer, right? So for speed and convenience, these sellers that we call motivated sellers, and I'll go through what motivated means and break down exactly what kind of lists you can actually go after, right? We're going to go over the best list to go after. Listen, these motivated sellers, typically they have a reason for selling, right? They have something going on in their lives. So you're actually solving problems. Now, so it's just 3 steps. Number 1, marketing. Number 2, you put it under contract. And then number 3, you sell that contract. So probably 75 to 85% of your time will be spent on the marketing side. And then after you get it under contract, the other 15 to 20% will be spent on what? Selling the property. Especially in the beginning, when you're a solopreneur, right? You're alone, you're doing everything yourself, right? Now, here's the beauty about real estate wholesaling. 1, like I said, you don't need money. Number 2, you don't need credit. Number 3, you don't need the license. But I'm going to say it right out the gate, right? Don't listen to all the people on YouTube, all the gurus with the Lambos, the Bugattis, the whatever, right? That they have the big mansions that are leased, right? Telling you that you're going to get rich in 2 days in this business. It is absolutely not going to happen. That's number 1, right? It's not going to happen in 2 days. It's not going to happen in 30 days. That's 1. Secondly, it is a super simple 3 steps business. Very simple, 3 steps business. My first 3 deals combined, I made my first year $115,000. And guess what? How my first deal, the first one that I closed was $68,000 assignment just for selling a piece of paper. But was it easy to get that deal? Absolutely not. I put in the work. And most people that try to get into real estate wholesaling, the reason they don't succeed, the reason they don't get deals is because they're thinking that it's too easy. I just get in and I get a contract tomorrow, right? I just find one seller and that seller is going to say yes. And then I'm going to get a contract and then I'm going to wholesale it. And then I'm going to make $10,000, maybe 100, doesn't matter. Every single deal is going to be different. It's going to be a puzzle. But let me tell you, keyword, simple. Not easy. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to be resourceful. You're going to have to put in the sweat equity. I am going to assume that not only you don't have experience, but if you're like me when I started, you have absolute zero money to spend in any type of big marketing. So you're going to choose the channels that are, free money, basically free 99, right? We all love free 99. So you're probably going to choose, and I'm going to go over the different channels you can use for marketing, right? And what kind of list you should go after, the best ones to go after that are absolutely free. You just have to put in the sweat equity. Again, 3 steps, not easy, simple. Not easy, simple. You will have to do the work. There is nothing easy anyway. Your 9 to 5, if you have one, is not easy, right? You waking up in the morning, going to the gym is not easy. Life is not easy. If you're looking for something easy, doesn't matter what business you want to start, you will always give up. There is no such thing. It doesn't matter if I sit you on a desk and tell you, hey, all day long, all you're doing is paperwork and you're going to get paid $100,000 per year. That will still not be easy. After 2 days, you'll be like, man, I'm tired. My back is hurting. I'm tired of sitting. I'm all in this office. My ass is hurting. The computer. There's nothing easy. So most people that jump from one thing to the other, trying to look for new avenues or maybe a new different type of business, they try this one for 1 week or the other one for 2 weeks and then give up, is because they're looking for the easy way. They're looking for the easy route. It doesn't exist. Let me put that out of the way right there. It's simple though. Simple steps. All right. So I just broke down for you what real estate wholesaling is. My first deal, my first check, I didn't care. All I wanted is the proof of concept. I didn't care if it was $1,000 or $1. I just wanted to prove that yes, you can go out here, find a distressed home, find an ugly house that nobody wants in the neighborhood, call that homeowner out of the blue, negotiate them at a discount, put it on the contract and sell that contract for a fee without using your money, and you make money. Basically just a middle person connecting 2 parties, which is the seller and the buyer. That's all you're doing, right? All I wanted is the proof of concept. That was huge to me because that changes your brain chemistry forever, ever. Once you get that, guess what? You get the belief that it is possible. This actually works. This actually works, and I can go back now into the marketplace and do this like 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, 30 times over. Right? So my first proof of concept just so happened that it's a $68,000 check, but I didn't care. At this point, I had left my 9 to 5, right? I quit my corporate job. I used to work for a government job in Europe, in Belgium, right? I was going through a divorce. In the middle of a divorce, my now 5-year-old daughter was about to be born. So I just wanted the proof of concept and make sure that this works. This works. And after that, it was game over. I never looked back since, right? At this point, over thousands of transactions we've done. Now I have a whole team. So we do a lot of, not only we do the wholesaling, we do the fix and flips, and we do the buy and holds, but wholesaling is how I started to build up my capital. Now, remember also, don't confuse real estate wholesaling with real estate investing. It's absolutely not the same thing. Real estate wholesaling is just an acquisition strategy. Meaning you're going out, you're finding deals, putting deals together at a discount, and then you're selling that, you're dispoing it for a fee, right? So what that teaches you though is the skill to hunt, is the skill to fish. Once you get that skill, you can translate it into anything else later down the line. That's another valuable lesson I want you to take away from this. That's why I think every single body, even if you don't want to, you should learn, because it's pure marketing and sales. That's all it is. Real estate investing, on the other hand, is when you take down the property and you're on the HUD, meaning you buy it, you go on the HUD, you or your company, then you become an investor. But typically, people start with wholesaling to build up their capital. Okay, so that's the first thing. So 3 steps, right? So after you do the marketing and then you get a contract, no, what kind of, when you're doing the marketing, what kind of list should you go after? What is the easiest way? Which are the best lists to go after? Now, I'm going to start with the free one that I started with. Absolutely free. There is something that we call driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is literally, guys, you get in your car and you drive around your neighborhood or a neighborhood next to your neighborhood and you find ugly houses. What is an ugly house? We've all seen these houses. Tall grass, you can tell nobody's taking care of it. If you look through the window, you can tell it's vacant, nobody's living in it. Or even if somebody's living in it, but nobody's taking care of the property. So like the outside, it's not clean, right? You can tell the gutters are super nasty, right? So even though sometimes you can see like completely beat up cars on the side, right? So, and you can tell that this, even though somebody's living in there, nobody's taking care of the property. That may be a sign of a motivated seller. When I found this out, I'm like, hold on. So you're telling me all I have to do is to put gas in my car, get in my car now. Again, remember, keyword, simple, not easy, because even that driving is absolutely not easy. Okay. And we're going to go over how many leads you actually need. When I say how many leads, meaning how many of those properties you're going to have to find in order to get a contract. Don't underestimate the amount of work and the amount of sweat equity you will have to put into this. Do not underestimate it. All right. But when I discover, I'm like, I can do this all day long. I just quit my 9 to 5. Fantastic. All I have to do is to get in my car. I have very little money. I don't want to spend no big money on to find the properties to do the marketing. So what I'm going to do is not only I'm going to spend little money. All I need is gas. But guess what? Since I'm in my car, I can also generate income while I'm finding ugly houses. How did I do that? And that's how I found my first deal. I decided to do Uber and Lyft while I'm finding ugly houses. So the Uber and Lyft generate income for me. And then guess what? Every single time I drop a customer from point A to point B, boom, I shut up the app and then I start driving in that neighborhood with a different app, and I will tell you exactly what app I was using to drive for dollars. And then I find ugly houses, put them into, at the time I was driving in Baltimore, and put them in my app and then call them later and ask them if they're interested in selling. That's how I found my first 3 deals. My first 3 deals, it was just in my car, going out and finding ugly houses. That's it. Now, how many of these houses do you have to find in order to get a contract? This is where people give up. You will have to drive a lot, right? On average, nationwide, I said on average, nationwide is close to 400 to 500 properties. There is no way. I don't care if you don't have any sales background. I don't care if you don't know how to negotiate. There is no way you're getting 500 properties inside your application, calling all these leads and not getting one seller that goes, yes, I'm sick and tired of the property. Yes, I do have financial issues. Yes, I do want you to buy this from me. Yes, I do want speed and convenience. Take it away, buy it cash. I don't want to flush the toilet. I just want to move on with my life. I'm sick and tired of this property for whatever reason. There's no way. That's on average. Now, if you do the math and you backtrack on that, you can tell how many hours you may have to dedicate to driving alone and finding ugly houses. Now, the great thing is, if you're in your car, if you're like me, if you're broke, just make income while you're doing so. For me, what I even started doing is I started turning my clients, right, the people that ordered my Lyft, I started turning them into referrals. I started telling them, hey, I'm in real estate. I'm doing this right now, but I'm in real estate full time. Do you know anybody in this neighborhood that is looking to sell? Or do you know any ugly house somewhere in this neighborhood? If we get the deal, we'll actually pay you a fee. We'll pay you between $2,500 to $5,000 if we end up getting the deal. Do you know how many people have 9 to 5s that they hate and they're always looking for a side hustle to make money? So I started doing that. My first $68,000 check, guess what? It came from a passenger telling me, hey, 2 streets away, there's a vacant property. This is the Linticum Heights, New York Avenue. I will never forget it. Probably 10 to 15 minutes from BWI Airport. I will never forget it. Junk house with bunch of squatters, needles on the floor, right? With a truck on the driveway. This seller haven't lived in that property for 2 years. Had filed bankruptcy, fell sick. Guess what? My passenger is the one that told me about the house. He's the one that told me because I asked him the question. But guess what? Even if he hadn't told me, since I dropped him off, I may have saw the property. I may have seen the property, right? That's how simple it is. Now, I spent countless of hours driving and finding houses. That's how I ended up with my 3 first deal, all of it combined, $115,000, assignment fees, just getting in my car, driving around and finding ugly houses. Now, there is an art to it, right? You don't just get in your car and drive into a random neighborhood. I've done a whole video showing you exactly how you find the zones, the zip codes, the neighborhood, the hottest neighborhoods to drive in your area. You can go back into my playlist and watch it on my YouTube channel, right? But you're gonna have to drive maybe 30 hours a week, maybe 40 hours, I don't know. But you have to find a lot of properties. So on average, 400 to 500 ugly houses. If you find it, you will absolutely 100% get a contract. I don't care how inexperienced you are, right? So it all comes down to your work ethic. It all comes down to your dedication. So that's the first way to do the marketing, to find these ugly houses. Once you find these ugly houses, then you can take these properties, right? You can use, so for me, I used to use, because I was broke, I used to use Landglide. Landglide is like $9 a month, and then they give you like a 7-day trial. Within my 7-day trial, I'll drive like crazy. I hope I don't get sued for this tip, but I would drive like crazy on the 6th day and cut it off, right? But you can use Landglide. Now, I don't know, like I haven't used Landglide for a while, so I don't know their updates. I don't know if they made it more efficient. The problem with Landglide, you have to do a whole screenshot and then get home and then manually put it on a yellow notebook and then be able to put it on your computer, right? My favorite application ever is Deal Machine to drive for dollars. Deal Machine, that application is bananas when it comes to driving for dollars, because not only it's like a GPS, right? But not only that, but it has an option to where you can track the streets that you already drove by, and it's so easy to just pinpoint the property, click on it, and upload it with one single click. So you don't have to stop. Boom, boom, boom. You can just drive. Boom, 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 right? With Landglide, it was a little bit more, tedious. Does that make sense? Now, don't complicate this stuff. Again, keep it simple. The simpler you keep this business, the more successful you'll be, and the faster you're going to get your first deal. You can even use a yellow notebook. If you don't have the money for Landglide or you don't have the money for Deal Machine, you can use Google Maps. For God's sake, Google Maps, actually. You can use Google Maps, right? To find these houses, pinpoint on them, screenshot it. All you need to find the number to the seller, which is the other part. Once you get all these records, now you're going to have to find the numbers in order to reach out to these people to see if they're interested in selling. And that is called skip tracing. Skip tracing is the act of finding the numbers, right? Once you get these records, you're going to have to go put them somewhere on another platform in order to get the numbers, right? The best ones that I personally advise, listen, you can even bike to find these properties if you don't have a car. No excuses. If you say, I don't have the money, but I'm willing to do the work, is either one, you have money, or you have sweat equity. It's one of the two, right? If you don't want to put in the sweat equity and you don't have money, I'm sorry, nobody can help you. Not even God cannot come down to earth and help you. Sorry. You're like, there's no way anybody can help you. All right. So the way to find the numbers absolutely free is a website called truepeoplesearch.com. And I'm going to put it in the description below. True. So TRUE search. Like search, like a bar, like like Google search, right? True People Search people, truepeoplesearch.com, truepeoplesearch.com. I'm gonna put in the description below. It's absolutely free. You go in there, you either put the seller's first and last name, which you can see from the applications that you're using to drive. You can see all their information. All this is public information. So you can put their first and last name, or you can put the address. And True People Search will give you about 3 to 5 numbers from the homeowner. And then you call all the numbers. Hey, I'm looking for John. I'm looking for John. Is this John? Hey, John. It's ironic because my first seller was actually John on that $68,000 assignment fee. Hey, John. I was calling you about your property on 123 Main Street. I was driving by and saw the property. I was trying to see if you would consider an offer on this property. Bang, bang, bang. All day long. That's all you're doing. You get the leads and you do this, right? So truepeoplesearch.com. But here's another thing that I love about truepeoplesearch.com, outside of it being free 99, right? Is also the fact that it gives you, in case you cannot get hold of the seller, guess what it gives you? It gives you family members, potential family members. So you can go in, you can scroll all the way down and see, let's say, for example, John on 123 Main Street. For whatever reason, all the 5 first numbers that you got, right? All those 5 numbers is not working. Well, guess what? You can scroll all the way down, okay, and see all the other people that have the same last name as the seller of 123 Main Street. Those are potential family members that you can actually call. You can see their numbers there too. You can call these people and say, hey, I was looking for John, the owner of 123 Main Street. Guess what? My first deal, I found the daughter. I didn't get a hold of John. Why didn't I get hold of John? Because John ran away from the property. He had medical issues, and he went to live with his daughter, and he disconnected his number. So I got hold of his daughter, and his daughter gave him the phone, and that me putting in the work and not just, okay, I called John 5 times and he didn't pick up. None of those numbers is working. I'm just going to move on to the next. Because I did that little investigation, guess what? Ended up being a deal. Because most people, remember, they'll give up on that first step. And you don't want to be that person. Your best deals will come from doing the second step, the third step, the fourth step. You're almost going to have to become like an investigator when you're doing real estate wholesaling, right? There's a lot of these lists is going to be a lot of research, a lot of data pulling, a lot of digging deeper to find family members. So be ready to be resourceful and be ready to put in the work. It's simple, not easy. I said it. Simple, not easy. Simple, not easy. I'm going to repeat it. Simple, not easy. All right. So truepeoplesearch.com, best website ever to me personally when I was using it for absolutely free. Now I don't use the free services anymore, and I'm going to put in the description below. The one that my team use currently is not that expensive. I think we pay about 5 cents per record, right? So we use that right now to skip trace in bulk. Meaning once I get, let's say hypothetically you drive around and you get 50 properties. If you go on TruePeopleSearch.com, you have to do it one by one manually. Yeah, I know, it's annoying. I absolutely know. But that's what it takes. You're going to have to do the work in the beginning, unless you want to outsource it and you have money, right? But once you get the money and you do your first deal and second deal, now you can spend some money. You want to skip trace all of those 50 leads or 100 or 800, doesn't matter. You want to skip trace them at once. That's called bulk skip tracing to get the numbers. And so at that point, you do want to use third-party paid, websites that skip trace, and some of them are super accurate. Like the one we use, super accurate. So I'm gonna put in the link in the description below. Look for it. So that's the step. So the free driving for dollars. Remember, you're gonna have to drive a lot throughout the week. Try to get at least you're gonna get daily. If you can have a target every single day. I want you to write down your target every single day. I want you to write down, okay, today I'm going to get 30 properties or 50 properties, and don't go home until you get the 30 or the 50 ugly houses. Trust me, if you do this throughout the week, 50 times 7, right? By the way, if you're broke and you're trying to get your first deal, you shouldn't take off on Sundays. Sunday is not an off day. Sunday is work time. It's the best day to actually drive for dollars. So why? Because Sunday there's not a lot of traffic. You can get up early. You can, in case you see a house and you just pass it, you can just backtrack, right? So Sunday is one of the best days to actually drive for dollars. It was my favorite day to drive for dollars. So first step, marketing. Free driving for dollars. All you need is gas money, right? You do have the gas money because I'm sure you're buying food outside, you're buying coffee outside, so you have the gas. I'm sure you're going to lounges. You have the money for gas. Put the gas, drive around, watch the video on how to find the hot zip codes, and then after you get these records, put them on TruePeopleSearch.com, get the numbers. Now, what are those lists that you want to go after other than the driving for dollar lists that you have to build yourself? Is the government list, is these lists that are completely public data, right? Is the pre-foreclosures. These are sellers that are about to lose their home because they haven't paid the mortgage for a while, right? Those are absolutely public list, right? You have the water shut off, right? You also have the code violations. So you can call your city or your local county's, code violation enforcement office. Listen, you can call these people and literally ask them for the list. You're gonna have to insist. Even the water shut off, same thing. So the code violations, they go around and enforce. Let's say somebody is in a nice HOA neighborhood and they don't take care of their grass and the grass is super tall. Well, guess what? They get fined. That's called a code violation. And typically when you call that office, guess what? You can ask for that data. You have the right as a taxpayer in the United States to get this data absolutely free. I mean, some counties you might have to go get it locally, like physically, and you have to pay pennies per piece of paper, right? But it doesn't cost anything at all. So you just have to call and talk to these people. Sometimes they'll challenge you a little bit and act like, hey, we don't have the list. They have it. You have to insist because you have the right. One of the counties that I called before, this was in Maryland, the one thing that they require, so check your local county, right? One thing that they require is, hey, you have to fill out a legal form online saying that you're requesting to enforce your rights to have access to this public data. That's what I did. Just fill out the form, send it back, and they send me all the data. So you have to check your local county, your local city. Don't be lazy. So code violations, water shut off, right? We talked about the pre-foreclosures. Probates are people that just passed away and they left a house, right? And oftentimes 99.9% of the time the family don't want to keep the house for whatever reason. You can go after those as well. That's another these are leads that already have some sort of financial motivation before you even call them. You just have to call them and solve their personal problems, and then you end up getting the property as a result under contract, and you can sell that contract for a fee. You have the credit card list, right? So all this government lists are some of the best lists you will ever go after. All right. So those are the best lists you'll ever go after. And the great thing is all you have to do is to be resourceful and put in some sweat equity to get this list for free. So you don't even have to buy them. That's the great thing about this list. The same thing for the skip tracing. Remember, you can go on truepeoplesearch.com, right? Now, when it comes to the pre-foreclosures, to the code violations, to the water shut-off list, right? All these lists, to the tax delinquent list, right? All these lists, guess what? You're going to need between 1,000 or maybe a little bit over type of leads, right, in order for you to get a contract. So don't underestimate the amount of people you have to talk to or the amount of records you have to get. So instead of getting just one list, because these lists typically, these are niche lists, right? So the pre-foreclosures, the code violations, typically if you call them, if they give you the list, you have about 100 records, maybe sometimes 200, sometimes 400, but it's not a lot. That's why you want to combine all of them. You want to get the water shut off, right? You want to get the code violation, and then you want to get the pre-foreclosure, and then mix this. See if you can get 1,000 of them, or 900. Get as close as you can to 1,000 before you start making the calls. Skip trace these, make the calls, and I promise you, if you're persistent, if you follow up, if you persist, you are absolutely going to get your first wholesale deal within the first 14 days. There's no way that you don't get it unless you give up, unless you look for the easy route, unless you like, hey, this thing doesn't work. I talked to 2 people and they told me no, so now I'm sad because I got rejected twice. Come on, listen, you get rejected every single day. When you're driving, when you're dealing with your family, that like you have to toughen up. This is not an easy business. It's a simple business. So just because you're getting no's on the phone doesn't mean you should give up. Trust me, you want to filter through those no's until you get the yes, because you're not looking to convince anyone. We're not salespeople. What I mean by that is we're not trying to call people and try to convince them to sell. We're calling people that already want to sell before we call them, and we're just convincing them that we're the right person to sell to. You see the difference? So I'm going to repeat that. We're not calling people, try to convince them by being great closers, try to convince them to sell their home, right? And they have zero motivation for selling. They have no reason for selling. No, we're calling people. This is why you want to go after the government list that already have motivation before you call them. Right? They're going through pre-foreclosures, they have code violations, they have all these liens, they have problems, or maybe it's a tired landlord, somebody who's owned the property for a while and now they're completely tired. They don't want to deal with tenants, they don't want to deal with toilet leaks anymore, and they want to see it go, right? So you're calling these people that already have a reason, and you just have to convince them that you're the right person to work with, not these other 99 people that are also calling them. That's it. You build better rapport. You're more honest. You sound like you know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, well, guess what? Because of your network, you have people that know what they're doing. So you're leaning on your network. You're telling them, hey, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to get you the answer in 1 hour. Why? Because I know X. You know somebody in your network that is already closing deals, and you already told that person, hey, I'm going out into the marketplace. I'm going to do the marketing. I'm going to generate leads. When I get these leads, can I come and work with you so you can help me close it? Because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to make sure that I qualify them before I bring them to you. You see how simple it can be? See how simple this business can be? If you do this, I promise you, there is no way, absolutely no way you're not getting your first deal within the first 14 days. But guess what? 99.9% of people will just give up the first week because it is not easy and it's simple. They're going to give up because of the rejections. They're going to give up because of the amount of sweat equity they have to put in to sit down and focus. So you're the type of person that is absolutely going to focus and crush it, right? So don't give up. Listen to me. This business will absolutely change your life. And your first deal, don't even care about the amount. All you want is the proof of concept. Now, remember also, and I'm going to leave you with this, knowledge is not power. Executed knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. So the people that win in this business is the people that execute the fastest. For me, when I started my journey, soon as they told me, listen, all you have to do is to get in your car and drive around and find ugly houses, I stopped looking for anything else. I started doing that like literally the same day. I didn't ask myself nothing. All I needed to do is, okay, I just drive around. Okay, how do I find the house zip codes? Boom. I sat down and wrote down how to find exactly that. So I did that in my area. At the time, I used to live in Maryland. And then after that, I found the applications that I need to use to drive around and upload these properties. And then I found out that if I don't want to use my personal cell, I can use a Google phone to make the calls. That's all I needed. I had a yellow book. I was writing a yellow book until I even learned how to use the app, which is a deal machine, right? This is why I'm sitting here 1,000 plus transactions later, and I've done everything, raising the private money, doing the fix and flips, doing the buy and holds, and have a whole team right now. We have an office here in Atlanta, in College Park, is because of that first deal. So on the first deal, focus on the proof of concept, not the amount. The amount could be anything. The amount could be 1,000. The amount could be 10,000. The amount could be 100,000 for what you know, right? You don't know. It's a puzzle. Every seller you're going to talk to, they have a different problem, different equity, different, price that they want. So, but guess what? Execute. Be somebody who execute and don't overthink it, and then learn as you go. Make the mistakes, fall, and then get up and do it again. Make sure you build your network so that when you generate these leads and they say, yes, I am absolutely interested in selling, you have somebody that can hop on the phone with you and help you talk to the seller and have that, more in-depth conversation and negotiate and help you, come the property, come up with the numbers. Why? Because you're new. You don't know yet how to do it. That's exactly how I did it when I first started. That lifts a heavy burden on my shoulder, because now I knew I didn't have to know anything, because my network, people that already have been doing it and close deals. So there are certain things I don't need to know. I just need to call the seller and qualify the seller and make sure that the seller have some motivation. All right, guys, I hope you get value out of this video, guys. Take action. I'm gonna put all the links in the description below. Leave a comment. Let me know what your takeaway is. Let me know how you're going to execute. Let me know which market you're in. And please, I would love to hear your story when you get your first deal. And remember to subscribe to this channel. Listen, the information I'm giving you right now is about 700 worth of, some courses online. It's about $700 worth of some wholesaling courses online, right? So please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out when I put out more content to help you. And remember, in this YouTube channel, we're creating playlists, complete playlists for beginners to help you. So make sure you go watch those, and I'll see you on the next video. Until next time, stay bold and be bold. Boom, boom, boom.